Having a large data sheet will at some point necessitate sorting that data by a column that it currently is not sorted by. Now our employees data is currently in ID order, and you can see that if you look down the ID column, it goes all the way from 1, totally linear, down to 106. Now we may wish to sort the data by a different column, perhaps by the surname or by the town or by the county. Now sorting in Excel is extremely simple as long as you bear in mind some caveats. I could sort my data by surname simply by clicking into the surname column. I don't have to be near the top or the bottom or the middle. I can be anywhere in that column. Come across to the home ribbon and sort and filter, and simply choose sort A to Z or sort Z to A. So let's choose sort A to Z, and everything works fine. Each of the rows are matched up, so I'm still in the same data order. So you can see the IDs are now mixed up. If I need to go back in ID order, I simply click in, sort A to Z, and sort smallest to largest. Now the caveats to be aware of are don't highlight a column. If I highlight a column, Excel will think I only want to sort that column. So I go A to Z, sort. Now luckily, it spots that you've actually got some data either side of your surname column and asks if you want to expand the selection. And that's the default. So if you inadvertently are just clicking away, it will sort by expanding. So it will include all the data, so everybody's first name stays with the appropriate surname. You can, however, override that default of expanding the data, but be careful that you actually mean to only sort the surname column. Otherwise, the surnames will not match up with the correct first names or addresses, and your data will be a mishmash. So let's expand the selection, sort, and then we're in surname order, but the data stays intact. The other caveat is to be careful of empty columns. If I were to insert a column here, for example, and it's totally empty, and we come across to the first name field this time, sort, and let's go for Z to A so that they're backwards by surname. The sort takes place, but notice that none of these have changed. Red 17 is still there in line 3. Because of the empty column, Excel has only treated this set of data as your database and has ignored everything in the second set of data. So if I don't do an undo now, then my data will be all mishmashed again. Now, it may be that you have an empty column because there's no values, but if there is a column heading at the top, that is enough for Excel to spot that it's all part of the same data. So I'm going to put APT there for apartment, come back to C and do sort A to Z, and you'll see that the addresses are then sorted and retained with the correct data, just by the column heading. So that's really more of a little tip than anything. Avoid those empty columns. The same thing would happen with an empty row. It would stop looking past the empty row at any more data. So totally empty rows and totally empty columns are a big no-no. You may put them for aesthetic reasons to make the sheet look nice, but for data terms, they are a bad thing. Hence, all I need there is a column heading for Excel to treat this as a full data set. Now we've been able to sort by a single column at a time, but you may wish to put them in surname and then followed by first name order. So repeating surnames, then put people in first name order. In order to do that, we go to the sort and filter option, but choose custom sort. That brings up the custom sort dialog box, where I can choose my primary sort field, which is going to be surname. I can then add another level, and I will choose first name. Now notice that it knows what the column headings are. Notice also that it's highlighted the data behind. You can see that's all in grey. If, and it does happen occasionally, Excel doesn't spot that your columns have headings, you may need to place this tick in here. If I remove this, you can see it calls each column by a letter, but it's now actually including the headings as part of the data, and they will get sorted in and mixed in with the surnames. So I need to make sure my data does have headers. Sort by surname, then by first name. So they will go in surname order. Where there is repetition of surname, they will then go in first name order. Okay, and we can see they are in surname order, and not until we find repeating surnames, for example, Fartley there, then we can see that they are in first name order. So Francis before Mary, and again for Franklin, Frida before John. So that's a double column sort. Sort and filter custom. You can actually have multiple sorts here just by clicking add a level, and you can remove sorts by choosing delete level. Within each sort, they don't all have to be alphabetical, they could be descending as well, and we can sort on numeric fields and date fields. We're not restricted to just text fields. So if I remove each of these levels, okay, my data remains as it was. I go to sort, custom sort, and let's choose the date of birth, newest to oldest. Okay, and our employees are now in date of birth order. So 1982 goes all the way back to 1939 even. But within each year, they are still in date order. So 1949 goes from January to September to October to December, and then another date in December. So that's custom sort for multiple fields, quick sort using the A to Z or Z to A options. Just bear in mind those little caveats of empty columns or empty rows. That will throw your data set out and you'll lose some of the columns. Your data will get mis-sorted effectively, leaving you with a mishmash of data.